sensitive? Why everybody so sensitive? Does anybody even give? We feeling babies up with medicine. Yeah.
Ooh, sipping on juice, sitting in the coupe, thinking about school, thinking about you. Come through, sniffing on blue, sniffing on.
What's up, everybody? My name is Chris Mohead, aka Rob Savage, and we're here again with another episode of 600 Seconds with HYLO Art. But before we get started, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man, because today we got a very special guest who goes by the name of
Corey Rock Bottom Davis.
Y'all give it up for Corey Rock Bottom Davis. How you doing today, bro?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I can't complain.
Man, it's great to have you here. Before we get started, I want you to look at that camera right there, or that camera, either one, and let the people know what it is that you do.
I am Corey Rock Bottom Davis. I am a comic book writer slash artist slash animation director, and been doing this for the better part of my life, about maybe 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's really dope.
Yeah.
How'd you get started with that?
Pretty much I just got started like watching cartoons. Like that was my main thing, like growing up. Like I think I fell in love with the animation part before I fell in love with the comic book part. So just I was introduced to like Scooby-Doo and all that stuff, Fat Albert, and so just kind of, graduated from there to comic books like in junior high school and everything. So that's pretty much, how I got, my interest started. But as far as in the industry, I just kind of started from hanging around friends that were in the industry while I was in college. I got my first comic book gig while I was there. Pretty much just started doing stuff for independent companies until I just started my own about 2002. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah, that's amazing. What would you say is the biggest influence on your style?
I'd say like a lot of the old school cartoons that I grew up with. There's so many different influences. There's different comic book artists that I look up to, like Art Adams and people like that, and animators like Don Bluth. Don Bluth did, he did Secret of Nim and American Tail.
Like 80s cartoon movies. I'm good.
Oh yeah. So just there's a long list of animators and a long list of comic book artists that pretty much kickstarted my interest in doing it for a living.
Oh yeah. Nah, that's what's up. Where's the nickname Rock Bottom come from?
Oh man. We were in when I was in high school. There used to be this show called ROC. You remember the
ROC.
about the garbage
sitcom
man that lived in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And we were hanging around in high school one day, and we were just like sitting around, hanging out in the bleachers, whatever, and just not doing nothing. And then I had a friend of mine named Rico just look at me and was just like, "You look like Rock," and that name stuck from that point. So everybody called me that. And we just stuck the bottom on there because the South is the bottom of the map. So we just kind of connected the two, and that was where my pen name came from. So yeah.
Sounds like a great rap name, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us about Rock Bottom Studios and how that came about.
It came about in about, like I said, around 2002, where I was just kind of messing around one summer and just decided that I got sick of doing everybody else's stuff. So I was just like, why don't I just start creating my own stable of characters? So that pretty much started that summer. And I just started creating and self-publishing like everything. Like every idea that I had, I just made into a comic book and just had it printed up at like Kinko's or somewhere. And so that's pretty much how that started. And over the years, it just kind of gained more structure the more that I, surrounded myself by other creatives and professionals that would give me the advice that I would need to just kind of turn it into a company instead of just something that was just kind of like this thing that was there. So
Yeah. I feel you wanted to take your brand and make it into official business.
Right.
That makes sense, yeah.
Exactly. So just that's pretty much what kicked it off, and just being able to hang around like all of these great talents and everything that went on to like do very good things and very big things just give me the advice that I needed to just kind of, you know, structure it a little bit more instead of just having it there, you know.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that completely.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about the character Jet Boy, and what's the inspiration behind that?
Oh man, the inspiration behind Jet Boy was pretty much the fact that growing up as a comic book fan, there wasn't a lot of comic book characters that looked like us.
Yeah.
So there was very little representation when it came to characters of color. And there were characters that were out there and active in the catalogs, but they were highly underused until, like, you know, the early 90s when Milestone came through and we got Static Shock and everything from that stable of characters. But, you know, it took that long. And I think that, you know, around that time is when they started using Luke Cage and Black Panther a lot more and stuff like that, because they saw now that there's a market for it, they can, like, actually try to capitalize and make money off of it. But when I was younger, you know, before that, I mean, there were, you know, characters of color, but they weren't being used at all. So my whole thing about Jet Boy was to kind of give, like, young kids of color, like, you know, an image of what a hero that looks like them would be like. You know, they need the representation. We need the representation as, you know, as young comic fans. You know, because the whole point of reading comic books is to kind of use that as an escape. You know, you're pretty much looking to find yourself in whatever character you're looking at. But if everybody that you look at doesn't have any type of connection to who you are, it just kind of messes with your identity a little bit. You know, especially young kids who may not have, you know, that type of guidance, and that's their only real, you know, thing to look towards. But yeah, it was pretty much because I felt like young kids of color would, you know, have a hero that looks like them so they could feel like they could be a hero too.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I respect everything you just said, man. Like, that's real. The representation, everything like that, that's real. Like, growing up as obviously as a black kid.
Oh yeah.
You gravitate more towards, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's not many out there that look like you, so I definitely respect that, man. And,
right.
And I got a little boy, my son, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when he come up, it's exciting to know that there are artists out there like you who are putting that out there for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I love that, man, for real.
Right.
What do you feel like about the comic book scene in the Southeast and Colombia as well? Like,
oh man, it's crazy how many of us are here, man. Like, a lot of people, it's like we got a secret society. Like,
yeah, a lot of people just think it's just New York and Comic-Con and stuff like that. Like,
right.
San Diego.
Right. Like, it nobody really takes into consideration that there are artists that work for Marvel right here in Colombia.
Wow.
And like, they're friends of mine, like Sanford Green, Chuck Brown, Chad Bowers. We can go down the list. Steve Epting. These are all people that have worked for, like, Marvel, DC. They live right here in town. They're like homegrown talent. And a lot of people don't even, you know, realize that they're like right here. And I just named like a few, but there's a lot more to add to that list that are like right here. And you know, we pretty much are a close-knit community, especially when we were just like, there was just like a handful of us at first. And now we're just like everywhere, and it's hard to keep up. So yeah, it's starting to blow up, and you know, the talent here is phenomenal. So yeah, I feel like that the scene here is growing, and that's a good thing for the industry.
Yeah. I was say I wouldn't even have known that it was that deep here.
Oh yeah,
here,
yeah. So it's a lot deeper than a lot of people think.
Yeah. Nah, that's really dope.
Yeah.
What current or future projects are you working on? What do you got in the works right now?
We're working with Boom Animation. They developed an app called Playwatch. That's kind of like a Netflix for kids, and so it's like a small streaming service that has like a ton of different animated projects that are all creator owned, and they cover like all kinds of different topics. And we've got like a major studio with their eyes on it now that want to use it as an incubator to kind of create content for their networks and everything. So
right.
we're basically Jet Boy is now officially a part of Playwatch, and so we're looking to push the Jet Boy cartoon to new limits and everything. So, yeah, we got some really solid stuff coming along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exciting, dude. That's really exciting. You
Yeah.
said Playwatch? That's what it's called?
Yeah, Playwatch.
Playwatch. I'm gonna definitely check that out. Make sure y'all check out Playwatch.
Yes.
A little bit off of business. What's your favorite movie of all time? Like, what do you watch?
Oh man, that's hard, man. That's a rough one.
You can name a couple.
It's so many.
Yeah.
It's so many, and just to narrow it down to one. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Same.
So one of my favorite ones was Return of the Jedi.
Okay, classic.
And that, yeah, because, I mean, this will show my age. Like, I remember when it first came out in the theaters, and me and my dad went to go see it together. And that's probably one of my favorite movies because, well, two reasons. Because I got to, spend time with my dad, and then we got to see something that we both liked together. So I'd probably go with that just because of the memories that's attached to it.
Ah, that's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's dope, man. I like the first one a lot too. I like just the original, New Hope.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
probably- that might be my favorite one.
Yeah.
But what's currently on your music playlist?
Oh, man, I listen to a lot of Jay Dilla.
Jay Dilla. Okay, yeah. Y'all
I
clap it
love
up.
Jay Dilla, man. Like, you can if we're talking about something that is always going to be constant on my playlist, because my playlist is a rotating door, because I like anything that's produced by Timbaland, because I think he's phenomenal. Like, he gets his beats from like Area 51 or somewhere. It's just like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Jay Dilla is probably the constant. Like anything, I can listen to Donuts all day.
All day, yeah. Just all vibes, man. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah, I love Jay Dilla.
Yeah. If you could work with one creative or just a dream project, what would that be?
Oh man, probably Spike Lee. I would love to do like an animation project with Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Like, because he's one of my idols. He made me want to like make movies when I was a kid. Like, because there wasn't like a whole lot of black filmmakers around that time that were actually out there doing it. He kind of kicked in the door for that new school of black filmmakers, and he influenced me to kind of go out there and do it, and just that kind of stuck with me over the years. Like, anything he would put out, like, I'm there for it.
Right.
So I would probably say that I would love to team up with him to do like something like a Jet Boy type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
That would be fantastic, man. That would make my day.
Yeah, and we normally ask dead or alive, but since he's alive, man, it's in the cards. It could happen.
Hey.
It could happen.
Yeah, let's hope.
You know what I'm saying? Do you have any advice for anybody watching?
As far as
I was
like,
gonna say maybe somebody that wants to be in similar, maybe they draw and they want to do animation or comic books.
just keep doing it. Just surround yourself with people that are actually doing it, and that way you can learn, from the experience. They can put you in front of like different people that can mentor you and everything. Like, just look towards the people that are actually out there, making things happen. Like going to a comic book convention is probably like the easiest thing that I would tell like somebody who's trying to draw comic books, because when you're in a room with that much inspiration, that makes you want to go and create. So I would say surround yourself by like minds and people that are actually out there doing it, and they can point you in the right direction and give you the right advice that you would need. And then you take a look at their stuff, and it'll like inspire you to want to do your own. So that's pretty much, the long and short of it. Just keep doing it, keep pushing, and surround yourself with people that can help you, along in your career.
Yeah, true. I love it. Is there anything that you want to speak on that we didn't touch on today?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got any final shout outs?
Yeah, shout out to Boom Animation. Shout out to Create Space with Kevin Staggers and everybody. They're doing a fantastic job with everything that's going on. Shout out to my fellow creators and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate you, man. Y'all give it up for Corey Rock Bottom Davis. Dope interview, man. Dope.
Yeah, you couldn't wait for me. I couldn't get it together. Try to get my together. You couldn't wait for me. I couldn't get it together. Go find you one better.